Oh my god, what is good, y'all? Welcome back to the airport. Welcome back to a brand new video, man. We're not gonna waste any time with intros right now. Y'all know what to do. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. Listen, that was just a terrible game. Like, I'm not even sure where to start. Like, I don't even know where to begin. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I have no idea where to begin. There's so many things that I could just list down. And yeah, like it was just an absolutely embarrassing performance, calamity of errors down the stretch. But for the most part, we were losing the game. Like, we were down big at some points. We were never in the lead, I believe, or we were never in control, at least, of the game. And yeah, it was tough. It was very tough because this is a game that you needed to win. Toronto is not a good team. I mean, they've only won 5 games prior to this one. They're 5-15 for a reason. They're one of the bottom 3 teams in the conference, and you lose to them. I'm not really sure how, but this is just who this team is, man. This is just who this team is. Let me just start there. This team is a mediocre team. They are not great. They are not terrible. They're just middle of the pack average, and that is the absolute worst place you want to be if you are a fan of a team. You want to be either good enough to compete for something, or you want to be bad enough where you can, have a high pick in the draft, especially in this draft, who, has a lot of talent at the top. This team is neither here nor there. Like, they are just completely just a mediocre basketball team. They are average as they come. Like, the fact that 2 nights ago you can play how you did, or against Charlotte, or, games previous where you won, you can play how I did, and then tonight just come out and lay an absolute egg. It's confusing to me. Like, how does a team against the same opposition play completely differently than what they played, 2 nights before? And that's just who this team is. Like, they just don't have reliable players on this team. We just don't have any reliable players. The most reliable player on this team has been Tyler Hero, and he was absolutely incredible tonight as well. He had 30. And another game where we wasted his 30 ball. Bam has gone MIA offensively. I understand people are, excited for the whole Draymond Green role or whatever, but bro, it's worse than that. He's missing hella shots, man. Like, I don't know what this guy's doing. Like, the shots he takes sometimes, it's like, Bam, what shots are those? Fade away, mid-range jump shots and all that. Like, and to me, it's a mental thing, because at the end you saw him hit that 3, and it was like, oh my god, he hit a 3, but the game was over anyway. So there was no pressure on that shot to even go in. The shot that he made at the end of the game, where the buzzer sounded, he made the shot. There was no pressure on him to make the shot, and he made it. But as soon as there's stakes, as soon as there's actual pressure on him to make shots, he just goes missing. It's completely mental to me. It has nothing to do with any skill issue or anything like that. It's completely a confidence and a mental thing to me. That's exactly what it is. Jimmy got hurt. 2 minutes to go, he got hurt on an N1. I'm not really sure what his timetable is going to be. Again, I'm really just recording this video as soon as the game ended, guys. So I don't know anything about what Jimmy's knee injury severity is. I don't exactly know what even happened on that play. I just know that he got an N1, and he was holding his knee after that, and he was limping, and he did not play for the rest of the game. That's all I know, but this is the absolute worst time for him to get hurt, because Boston is literally, right around the corner. We play Boston tomorrow on a back-to-back. The Boston Celtics. Then we play LA. We play the Lakers, who are playing really good basketball. When we play Phoenix, after that, it's like 3 good teams, and your star player is in danger of missing at least 1, if not 2 or all 3 of those. Like, the fact that he did not return to the game tells me that it's something serious, and I'm starting to get worried about Jimmy's durability, man. I'm not sure exactly what's going on, but even during the game, he didn't really look aggressive. When he did look aggressive, he always made something happen. I'm not really sure why he has these games where he just looks disinterested, but that knee injury thing, I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how long it's going to take. I mean, he already missed a game or a stretch of games this season where he turned his ankle, and then now a knee injury. It's like, how many more of these are going to happen? And obviously he can't control that. It's not really his fault that he's getting hurt, but it's not good to have as a fan when your star player is always just getting hurt. And I hope that he's fine. I hope that it's nothing serious. That's what I really pray and hope, that it was just like a precaution thing that he sat in the last 2 minutes and that it's not actually like something really serious. But who knows? Like, who knows? We don't know. Like, we have to obviously, take it seriously with him, because any like small injury like will cause him to miss some time. Like, we've seen that. So listen, I'm worried when it comes to his durability. I'm worried about Bam's offensive confidence, man. I'm just not sure where that's gone. And I'm just worried about this team. It's just soft. It's a very soft basketball team. I mean, the amount of points in the paint that Toronto had tonight was staggering. They had upwards of 60 in the paint. And they had 58 through 3 quarters. And it was like, oh my gosh, like, we had only scored, I think, 30 something, and they had already scored like 60 points in the paint. Like, they had almost doubled our paint production. And this team is supposed to be thriving on playing physical and playing hard and limiting shots at the rim. That's what they want to do. That's where their identity is defensively. And tonight it was just free layup lines for RJ Barrett, free layup lines for the whole team of Toronto. It was free. You can get past me. You can go to the rim, and we're not going to even contest the shot hard. We're not really going to even deter your shot. We're just going to put a hand up and hope that the shot misses. That's all we were doing tonight. And it doesn't help when we switch everything. We literally switch 1 through 5, which means any pick and roll that is set on the perimeter, Bam is going to guard the guard, which means there's no backline rim protection when he's on the guard, because nobody else on this team can do anything defensively in the paint besides Bam. And even Bam tonight wasn't good defensively. So how do we expect to stop anybody in the paint when Bam is always switched out onto the perimeter? And I'm not really sure where this team goes from here, man. I really don't. I'm not excited for the prospects of this team this season. I just think we're a mediocre team, and we're going to have wins where it's like, oh my God, we look really good. And then we're going to have losses the little next game where it's like, what is this team even doing? Have we even won like a string of games in a row this season? I don't think so. I think maybe we had won 3 games in a row at one point, but I doubt that. I think we only had like 1-2 games in a row max. I don't think we ever had a 3-game or 4-game winning streak this season. Like, they're just inconsistent up and down. You just don't know what version of this team you're going to get. They're just way too small as well. And it's like, I don't know how much blame you can put on Spo, because we've asked Spo to do everything. We've asked Spo to move Terry to the bench. We've asked Spo to move Jovic to the bench. We've asked Spo to start Highsmith and Duncan. He's done all that. We even asked Spo to play Khalil Ware. He's played Khalil Ware at times. And obviously now he didn't play him because he wasn't there. But it's like, what can Spo do? We're asking him to do all these things. He's doing them. Everything we're asking for is eventually coming true. The problem is the personnel on this team is just not good enough. I don't care what coach you have out there. When you're starting the team that we have out there, it's just not going to set you up for success defensively. And the reason is you are way too undersized. And again, I don't know where this team goes from here, because you've already tried to start Nikola Jovic at the 4. You've tried to start Haywood Highsmith at the 4. Now, Highsmith has been better than Jovic because of the offensive fit, but the defense is still lacking at that 4 position, because obviously Highsmith's a really good perimeter defender, but he's 6'4". Jimmy is 6'6". We saw Jimmy getting absolutely bullied by Barrett in the post after that injury. He's just not, like, neither of those guys are just strong enough to guard post players, especially at Jimmy's stage of his career. And then you start Tyler and Duncan, who are weak links defensively themselves. Tyler's obviously taken a step, but he's not really a good defender, by any means. He's an average defender at max. And then Bam, who's supposed to be your best defender, but if he's always switched on in the perimeter, you just don't have any, defensive resistance down low. So it's like, what can you do? Like, the only option that I think Spo really has is to start Highsmith, because the Jovic fit was terrible, and we saw that. He just did not fit really well with the starters. Now, I'm not really sure why Jovic isn't playing minutes, like, at all. I think that's probably a little bit of a mistake there. But the starting lineup, that's the best starting lineup that we've seen all season. Now, one thing that they could try to do is start Bam and Khalil Ware together, but we've seen that Khalil Ware has moments where he looks good, but a lot of the times Khalil Ware just looks a little bit like not ready yet. So I'm not really sure what you want to do with him starting. I agree that he should probably get reps as the backup, but as a starting center on a team that has championship aspirations, I'm not sure if Khalil Ware is ready for that yet. I think he should develop a little bit more. So to me, the only way you really improve this team and improve the performance of this team is through a trade. Unfortunately, they cannot do that either because they don't really have any tradable contracts. The only two contracts that they have that can trade away are Duncan and Terry. Now Duncan, forget about it. He's not going anywhere, and the reason is he is very instrumental to his fit with Bam. He is a good team defender. He is one of their best 3-point shooter. He is a good passer. He is a really good inbounder. Like, he's very integral to a lot of the plays that Spo runs as well. So because of that, he's not going to go anywhere. I don't think he's going to be traded at all, especially for an improvement. If the Heat see it as a marginal improvement, I don't think they're going to make that trade. Terry is the one guy that I could maybe see getting traded, but the problem with that is Terry has looked pretty good coming off the bench, so I'm not even sure if they want to trade him. But second of all, you just got him last deadline. It hasn't even been a year yet, and if we're saying we're going to trade Terry right now, I mean, fans can say that. You know, if it's a good trade, then yeah, sure, do it. But the Heat will not want to give up on Terry Rozier after less than a year, especially because they invested a first-round pick in that deal. It's going to look bad for them if they pull the plug on that immediately. So, to me, they're stuck. That's the reality of the situation. The Heat are just stuck. They're stuck in mediocrity. They're stuck in this up and downness. They're just stuck in this purgatory because they hard capped themselves. They are in the second apron. They have a team that, you know, has aspirations to win a championship, but has a star who is kind of on his last leg, you know, and is dealing with durability issues. You have a co-star who's kind of lost his touch offensively. Your rising star, your third best player, has taken a big leap this season, but he just seems like he just has no help around him. The guy you traded for last offseason or last deadline has been up and down to start the season. I mean, he's been good at times, but he's been really bad at times. And then you have no size on this team. So where does this team go? I don't know. I mean, if they cannot improve this team, you know, at the deadline, if they're not able to make any trades, because even the guys that they were going to have to try to trade for, they're all on bigger contracts, which is why I said you need tradable contracts to trade for these guys. They can't just absorb someone's salary because they don't have the money to do that, you know? And besides that, we don't really have the draft assets either. So it's like this team is just stuck. They have set themselves up in a position where they're just going to be stuck for some time, and they can't do anything about it. I mean, this is their team, and this is going to be their team. I mean, there are teams in the East who have players that are up for sale. Like the Bulls have Levine and Vucevic. The Wizards have Kyle Kuzma. They have Malcolm Brogdon. The Nets have Dorian Finney-Smith. They have a couple of other guys on their team. Like, you have Cam Johnson. They have players, like all these three teams in the East that are notable sellers, that are going to be notable sellers at the deadline. They have players that, you know, could be really good fits on the Heat. Like, I would love Cam Johnson on the Heat. I would love Kyle Kuzma. Maybe not love Kyle Kuzma, but I would take Kyle Kuzma on the Heat. I would take Dorian Finney-Smith on the Heat. I would take Malcolm Brogdon. Like, I would take a lot of these players on this team, man. I would take Vucevic on this team. Like, I would take a lot of these players on this team. But the problem is, we just can't get them. We don't have what it's necessary to go get these players realistically, unless you trade away Duncan Robinson, which I don't think the Heat will do that, or trade away Terry Rozier, which I don't think the Heat will do that either. So, to me, they're stuck, and that's not a good thing at all. You know, it's definitely not a good thing to just be stuck in this middle of the pack situation. We just have to accept as fans that with this team constructed as it is, we're going to be seeing a lot of inconsistency. We're going to be seeing a lot of dumb mistakes. We're going to be seeing a lot of, you know, softness at times from this team, which is ironic because they preach themselves on, you know, being the toughest, nastiest team in the NBA, all that, you know, BS that they try to roll out on us, saying that they were this and that. Like, you know, we've seen the reality this season, man. It's been nothing like that at all. You know, this team has been out-muscled in like several games. So, yeah, I mean, they don't really have anywhere else to go besides, you know, do whatever they can with this roster. Like I said, we can all hope for a trade, but with the current situation of the assets that they even have, that they even possess, or should I say the lack of assets, I think a trade is fairly unlikely. So, listen, we'll have to see what's going to go on. We'll have to, you know, see and hope that they can even do something. But yeah, man, I have zero clue as to where this team even goes from here. Like, you're gonna need a lot of luck to go your way if they actually even want to do something this season. Jimmy's gonna have to be healthy. We've already seen him with two not severe injuries, but two injuries that have taken a toll on his body. Tonight he wasn't even being himself. Bam Adebayo, just offensively just looks awful whenever he's shooting the ball. Now for him, like, I'm not expecting Bam to be a scorer by any means, but if he's shooting the ball, I would like to see more than 50% of his shots go in. Like, if that's not too much to ask for. I mean, I hope it's not. But listen, man, I don't know. I don't know where this team goes from here. You guys let me know in the comment section. I mean, if you guys think that I'm tripping about something, then let me know, because I just, if you guys think that there's something for me to be optimistic about going forward with this team, just let me know. Because I'm trying to find reasons. You guys know, out of all Heat fans that you guys are watching on YouTube, I try to be very rational and say, listen, like, if there is a chance, like, I'm always hoping. I'm always trying to find a way and trying to reason that the Heat have a chance to do something. But I'm at the point right now where we're only 9-9. It's the start of the year, but we're already 500. We're losing games that we're supposed to win. We have injuries left and right. We are not really a team that is physically imposing by any means. Like, we are getting punked, by teams that are severely under 500, and it's just not looking good at all. Like, to me, I'm just at the point where I'm like, listen, if this is not going well, and if it's the same thing by January, February, you might have to look to blow this thing up, man, because there's no point in just riding this out for no reason. Like, Jimmy, Terry, like, all these older guys, like, they can go if it's not looking good towards the middle of the season. And I've never said that before on this channel about Jimmy Butler, but he's 35. He's extension eligible. He has a player option at the end of the year. Again, I don't know what his future is, but I think his future and how the team plays this season are super aligned. And if the Heat don't show me any glimpse of them being an actual contender this season, I just don't really see a point of keeping him or extending him past this season, because we would all love Jimmy to retire as a Heat player. We would all love Jimmy to be a Heat lifer. But let's be realistic here. We have to also look out for the best interests of this team, and especially in a draft class which is super stacked. And I will do more videos about the draft so you guys can see how stacked it actually is, because I've been watching a lot of college basketball this season. It might be good to get yourself into sweepstakes with one of those top end picks, man. It might be good. You have Tyler Hero, you have Bam Adebayo, you found something in Pelle Larsson this season. Jaime Jaquez has looked pretty good at times. You're still waiting on Nikola Jovic to take that jump. You drafted Khalil Ware. Like, you have a solid nucleus of younger pieces. I wouldn't be mad at this team if they decided to go in that direction, man. It's a lot better than this, because this is just like, we just don't know what to expect. It's just mediocrity, and you just do not want to be mediocre as an NBA team in 2024. That's, like I said, the absolute worst spot to be in is in that purgatory. So I hope that the Miami Heat either show me something where I'm like, okay, listen, this team can actually do something this season. And I hope that they actually, give me some type of hope with that. And I hope that Jimmy Butler comes back, and I hope that he doesn't miss too much time or any time at all. But if neither of these things happen, and if the same pattern that we've been seeing from the season continues, through the end of the year and next year, you might have to start looking at blowing this up and resetting this whole thing. It was a good build while it lasted. We didn't ultimately win anything, but it was a lot of fun and great moments, and it was really exciting as a Heat fan watching those playoff runs and those few years that we had. But you can't be delusional now. Like, at some point you have to look at the present and stop focusing on what we did back then. Like, right now we're just a mediocre team, and we just got to get on board with that and try to do everything we can to change that, whether it's going in the right direction where we are winning, or going in the direction where we are, looking to draft guys next season in the top 10. You guys let me know what you guys would rather do, man. Let me know what you guys think this Heat team will do from here. I'll see y'all later as always, man. Have a nice day. Let's go Heat. Peace.